Welcome to Suburban Death Metal Dad Recommends, episode 16, where I'll be talking about the band Wargasm. So the members of Wargasm initially got together in 1982 under the name Overkill, and at that time they were a four-piece. It was Bob Mayo on guitar, Rich Spielberg on guitar, Barry Spielberg on drums, and Peter Schiffer on bass. So eventually Peter Schiffer was out, and Bob Mayo ended up taking over the bass and vocals, and they changed their name to Maniac and released their only demo, Rainbows, Kittens, Flowers, and Puppies, in 1985. And then, looking for a record deal, it was recommended they change their name, and the Spielberg's sister came up with the name Wargasm, which they took, and eventually they released a demo as a Wargasm in 1986. Satan Stole My Lunch Money, which, what a great name that is. Probably one of the best names for a demo that I've ever heard. And so eventually they got a record deal with Profile/Rock Hotel and released their debut, Why Play Around, in 1988. So when I first heard Wargasm, it was probably like 1989. Someone had bought and given to me a used copy of Why Play Around on vinyl, and I thought this was such an amazing album, and I listened to it over and over again, still to this day. I don't have anything like it in my collection, and to me this didn't really sound like an album from 1988. It sounded like something from the early 80s, and like I said, pretty unique for its time in my opinion. Apparently the songs were basically recorded from 86 to 87, and just such a killer release. You know, my favorite songs on the album being Revenge, Bullets and Blades, Undead, Humanoid, and probably my favorite track on the album is Wargasm. Such a killer track.
It's on a rampage, it's on the run, or helping thing you've ever seen. Trying to tell him that he's got no right, it's like putting out a fire with gasoline. Bullets and blades, the tools of your trade, the weapons of death surround you. Reason your rhyme, your brothers in crime, the ends still stay with their life. Voices of death, dead ones in leaves, yes, it's not a drill.
So basically the band continued to write and do shows, did a European tour, and had issues with their record label and weren't getting any support. And throughout the 90s, 90-91, they recorded 3 demos, songs that ended up being on their second full length, which was released on Massacre Records in 1993, the album Ugly. And this is another great release from the band, more full-on thrash, and favorite tracks for me, opening track, The Rudest Awakening, totally killer. Chameleon, like that one a lot. Ugly is to the Bone, another favorite, super killer riffs in that one. You know, instrumental Slow Burn, Blood Flood, and then Dreadnought Day, which they did a video for, another amazing track. Just, like I said, just a killer thrash album, this one is.
No, this is not a drill. No scheme to test your will. You don't get it, do ya? Just stand there as they screw ya. You file through my world, throwing popcorn and beer, with hatred so blind that it's all I ever hear. Is Dreadnought Day. Chew you up, spit you out. Now get the hell out of my way.
So when the band recorded the album Ugly, they also recorded a cover song, Fireball, by the band Deep Purple, and this was released in 1994 as an EP with some other tracks, so that's definitely something to check out.
Trying to understand you, trying to love you right. The way you smile and touch me always sets my heart alight. This is like a fight.
So the band continued on, and things didn't work out with Massacre Records, so they ended up recording their third full length, which was titled Suicide Notes, and that came out on, I believe it was Transmission Records. And that was not an easy album to find. I actually found that used in Japan in 2001, and it wasn't very expensive. And I picked that up, and it's another great release from the band. Not as thrashy as the previous releases, but still really good songwriting. Opening track, "This May Not Be Hell," super cool. "Engine," "Jigsaw Man." Some of the faster tracks, "Not Forgiven, Not Forgotten," and "Tear Down," also my favorites.
How did it get this far? I knew it all too well. This may not be hell. Holding on to anger, holding on to hate. Lifetime of misery, my fate. Now infinite war for ages. Now say, this world is slowly winding down. I say.
So they had one more recording they did in 1996, although it didn't come out till much later on a 7-inch. That was a re-recording of the song "Suicide Squad" from their Maniac demo, along with a cover song by the band Tank called "Power of the Hunter." And this is also a very good release, definitely worth picking up.
Landing behind the enemy lines, an uphill climb. Moving by night, afraid that you might be seen in the light.
So basically, the band broke up after this, and had gotten together a few more times just to play a live show. Most notably, in 2004, the band got together to do a benefit concert and recorded that for a DVD. They recorded a live show in Boston, and also had a documentary that they put together. And this was released in 2008, the DVD, Knee Deep in the Middle East. And, it's very, very great live show, great sound. And the documentary, very interesting. All the members are involved. There's, live clips and photographs, throughout the documentary. So, if you're a fan of the band, this is definitely worth checking out. And also, the band has re-released the "Why Play Around" and "Ugly" albums, and also the EP "Fireball." And there's some bonus tracks on those uh, albums as well. I'm talking about "Ugly" and the "Fireball" EP. There's bonus tracks there, so very cool, very worth checking out. All right, so at this time I'll go ahead and show what I have for my collection, starting with the debut, "Why Play Around," and this is the original release, which I ended up finding, I think it was like 1996, in a chain record store in a shopping mall, just randomly, because up to that point I only had the vinyl and the cassette, so I was super stoked to come across this brand new in a record store. And second full length, "Ugly," like I said, also super killer release. Then the "Fireball" EP. "Suicide Notes," and this is the Japanese version. I have the one on Transmission Records. This is on Nexus, has some bonus tracks on it. And this one I actually picked up just a few years ago in Japan. Wargasm, this is basically selected tracks from that show they did in 2004. Great sound, great track list. Definitely check this one out. So a few years ago, the band had provided on Bandcamp, you could buy the booklet, the CDR, and the tray card, and basically take the songs from Suicide Notes and put them on this disc, because this is basically what the band preferred. The album "What Are You Afraid Of," and with this album cover, as opposed to Suicide Notes. And here's a demo collection called "Satan Stole My Lunch Money," has all their demos on it. So very happy to have this. I ended up picking this up just a few years ago as well in Japan, used, not too expensive. And then last but not least on CD, I have, it's called Rumors of War. It's another demo collection, basically very similar to the Satan Stole My Lunch Money demo collection, except there's a few more demo tracks from the Suicide Note session. All right, here I got some vinyl. This is the 7-inch EP with the re-recording of Suicide Squad and that tank cover, Power of the Hunter. Very cool release to have. They sound great. And these songs are also available on the reissue of the Fireball EP. And here's the Maniac demo, Rainbows, Kittens, Flowers, and Puppies on vinyl. And basically, pre-Wargasm, and a very good release, good sounding demo, worth checking out. There's also another song on here called The Hawk. It's basically a 10+ minute instrumental song that wasn't re-recorded for anything. It's a really good track, so definitely worth having this. And one of my prized possessions here, it's the original Wargasm I Play Around on vinyl that I got, like I said, I think it was like 1989, so just a great release. And here's the Wargasm Ugly album with a patch sitting in there. This is a reissue on Vomit colored vinyl, and like I said, this another killer release from the band. So check this one out for sure. And finally on vinyl here, it's the reissue of Why Play Around. So if you can't find the original, you should be able to pick this up. Last but not least, the DVD I talked about earlier, Knee Deep in the Middle East, live show from 2004, in addition to some extras and that documentary. It's like an hour and a half long. Very cool to have this. Great information, great show. So that basically wraps it up for Wargasm. Just a fantastic band. I'm such a big fan, and unfortunately, I never did get to see them live. Would really have liked to see them live at some point, but anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.